Hey guys, this is Nicholas from Mixdown Magazine here with Tony from At the Drive-In. Today we're going to talk about influences and favorite drummers. So, when did you start playing drums?
I started playing when I was 15, so I was kind of older than most, you know. There was this drum set, this old Rogers kit that used to sit at my cousin's house, and he had money and I didn't. And so they bought him a drum set, and I would just, every time I would visit on the weekends, like I would go and try to play it. And finally, like they kind of gave up and they sold the drum set to my brother. Okay. And so I got the kit and realized I couldn't play guitar pretty quickly. So this guy came over to my house and knew how to play every Metallica song. And he goes, "Why don't you just play drums?" I'm all, "Sure." And that's how I ended up on drums. And then I actually stopped playing again after that, after my mom passed. And didn't start till kind of like 17 and a half. So I played a lot of catch up at the beginning, comparatively.
Well, when did At the Drive-In start?
At the Drive-In started, well, I joined when I was almost 23.
Okay.
So, you know, I always said I had to play a lot of catch up from like 17, 18, and 19, you know. And, but yeah, it worked out.
So who were the drummers that you kind of like drew from immediately?
As a kid, I was introduced early to kind of the obvious, to John Bonham, and that was kind of like, okay, I think I could do this. And then I was introduced to AC/DC by my brother, and he gave me Back in Black, and I was just like, this is amazing. And I kind of took from them, and then I immediately got into like angrier music, and I grew up, you know, I always used to say like I didn't really learn about punk rock until I met these guys, because I grew up on metal. Like I grew up, you know, my favorite drummers that I looked up to as a kid were like Dave Lombardo and Lars Ulrich, and Lars also because he wasn't just a drummer. He wrote, he led the business side of things, and that's the stuff that I really drew towards. And then and then actually like Vinnie Paul from Pantera became one of my favorites. I always say I stole so much of his stuff and brought it to punk rock. Yeah. You know, because like I played in a cover band with Paul actually. Okay. When I was 17, and that's how we met. And we started playing originals and stuff like that, but we were playing all this like metal covers and stuff, and that stuff just makes you better, because to me, like, metal drummers are like, they were the ones being technical, like, and back then at that point punk was not, you know.
It comes with a certain level of endurance as well.
Oh yeah,
like to get through a 45 minutes or an hour middle set, you've got to be match fit.
Yeah, and that's what that's what got me going, like really heavy music and stuff like that. And then I slowly, you know, you start getting a little bit older, like, and I remember 19, 20, I was just like, okay, there's other stuff out there, you know. So I started listening to other things and drew from that. And you know, when I met these guys in 1996, you know, we had always been around each other. The scene in El Paso was so small, but when we met, I remember like they wanted me to join the band, and they're like, you know, Cedric literally gave me a mixtape and a cassette, and it was like Fugazi and Hoover and Indian Summer and bands like that like I immediately gravitated to the drummers that were hitting hard and had good time, like the drummer of Hoover and you know, and of course Fugazi, and so like that's when I started going, okay, I could bring some of my metal stuff and bring it to this band. Mm-hmm. And it's a long answer to one question, but that's how I kind of made the loop around.